My homework was to redesign the Nothing headphones.
But as a reviewer of over 300 tech products across a decade of videos,
I tried designing what my dream headphones might look like. Not these.
But before we design the dream, we need to answer one question. What's so wrong about the Nothing headphones? I did try my friend's pair, and I'll say it, Nothing got a lot right. First, it's unique. It's got extravagant tech vibes, but it's a lot. It's the kind of design you love for a month, then resent for a year. And it's hard to match with an outfit. And this retro vibe, it's fake. If it looks retro, I want it to be because it functions that way. Second, physical controls. I love it. Tactile, analog interactions. It's based after a tape recorder, but it's too little. In my dream headphones, the controls aren't simplified. Real buttons, switches, knobs. Everything critical should be controllable mechanically. As for the rest, the build is nice, the app is decent, and the ANC is alright. It's also quite comfortable, but the sound? Overall, it's a little muddy. It doesn't fold small enough, and it's got no touch controls. In my dream, it needs to have both touch and mechanical. So I tried designing with the same vibe, but I put function first. Disclaimer, I'm only a year 1 student. It's amateurish at best, but I'm going to do it anyway. I sketched out my ideas, I measured it, I CAD'd it into Fusion. I 3D printed a bunch of possible parts and then 3D printed them again. I wasn't gonna make anything working in just 24 hours, but I was going to try making a prototype that got the message through. And after final assembly, I was ready. And here it is. I took cues from Nothing and the MH40s. Both ear cups get a rotating knob, which by default should be for volume, but in my dream scenario, it's a scroll wheel for anything. The idea is that if you're in an app, and in a pinch, you need an extra wheel for controlling color grades, video editing timelines, or Photoshop settings. You can use this as a programmable knob. On the right, I've switched the power switch to a proper flick switch because I need to know when my thing is actually off. Under that, the ANC mode switch, and on the base, 3 chunky buttons. Skipping forward and play pause will be controlled by this rocker switch on the side as well, making it even more mechanical. On the left, I added 2 more buttons because sometimes your right hand is a little busy with something. Pause. And yes, I added touch controls on both sides, but recessed, so if you lean your head against the wall, you don't trigger it by accident. To embrace the idea of exposing the internals, the hinge is external, inspired by the Apple XDR design because it's sexy. The band adjustment takes inspiration from the OG Momentums, with cups that can rotate, collapse, and fold. And charging in the dream world is not just USB-C, but with a case that can act as a power bank. And everything must be replaceable. No negotiation. Sound-wise, I'm not an audiophile, so I texted Critical. Critical is one of the biggest audio reviewers in the world, with his own earphone brand. So I asked him, what would you want in dream wireless headphones? He said, reduce resonant waves in close-back headphones. Since we're talking dreams, this has that. I'm not gonna act like I know exactly what that means. If I were to refine this design further, I'll probably recess these buttons more, tune the height and size of things, and adjust ear cup proportions. I would want to make things cleaner and add more unique surfacing to the product. Probably redesign the Nothing app's UI. But for a weekend of work, I'm satisfied. What do you think? Full marks? Should brands copy some of my ideas? Should I finally get some sleep? Prologue. Now look, this is a dream design and it's not going to be really fully feasible. This is just me shouting into the cloud of what an ideal wireless headphones for me actually looks like. In the real world, designing a pair of wireless headphones is way more complicated. There's hundreds more iterations, engineering samples, and you need to balance both your wants and your needs. So a headphone like this is probably not entirely possible, especially not at the price the Nothing headphones are going for. There's a design study for me to flesh out what might be the most desirable wireless headphones for me as a customer. This project does just that. And it's a great way for me to learn. Subscribe.